Struggling with long lines and complicated forms for property taxes? Well, discover the stress-free way to pay your Sarpy County property taxes online today. Welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you own property in Sarpy County, Nebraska, you already know tax season can be kinda a headache. Let's face it, absolutely nobody loves paying taxes. But today we're going to walk through exactly how to navigate the county's digital system to handle your tax bill efficiently, securely, and literally right from your couch. But before we jump right into the portal, we really need to talk about why this matters so much. See, your property taxes are essentially the lifeblood of Sarpy County. They fund our schools, they maintain our roads, they equip our first responders. And because the local government relies so heavily on these funds to keep our community running, the stakes for missing a deadline are incredibly high. We're not just talking about a little slap on the wrist here. If you miss that payment deadline, your delinquent taxes immediately start accruing a severe 14% statutory interest penalty. And here's the real kicker. That 14%, it compounds daily, literally from the exact date of delinquency to the date you finally pay it off. If you leave it unpaid long enough, the county treasurer is legally required to offer your tax debt at a public tax sale. That slaps a tax lien on your property, and worst-case scenario can eventually lead to foreclosure.
No thank you, right?
Okay, so to avoid all that, here's our roadmap for today. 1. Property taxes in Sarpy. 2. Prep for online payment. 3. Step-by-step online guide. 4. Payment options and fees. 5. Deadlines, errors, and fixes. And 6. Final checks and disclaimers.
Section 1. Property taxes in Sarpy. Understanding your annual tax liability. Let's dive in. To put this whole thing into perspective, let's look at the numbers. The median annual property tax bill in the county comes out to $4,820. Guys, that's over $2,400 higher than the national median. Just imagine you're a busy homeowner trying to beat the clock on a bill that size. If you forget to pay, that 14% compounding late fee we just talked about is going to drain your wallet incredibly fast. Oh, and it's also really important to remember that under Nebraska law, these taxes are levied 1 year in arrears. Basically, that just means the physical tax statement you get in the mail in mid-December actually covers the previous calendar year. So the taxes you're paying throughout 2026, yeah, those are actually your 2025 tax liabilities. Make sense? Moving on to Section 2, Prep for online payment.
Let's gather your documents and technology. So preparation is absolutely key to avoiding any weird technical glitches. First up, you'll need your 9-digit parcel identification number. You can find this printed right there on the top right corner of your mailed tax statement. Second, the county highly recommends using an actual desktop computer equipped with a modern browser, like Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge. They explicitly advise against using mobile devices like your smartphone or tablet, mostly because those responsive mobile browsers frequently fail to complete the secure verification loops. You definitely don't want that. Now, listen up, because here is a massive friction point that catches so many taxpayers totally off guard. You absolutely must disable your web browser's pop-up blocker before starting. If you don't do this, the secure redirect to the state's payment portal will just completely stall out. You'll be stuck at a payment process started message, and your transaction won't go through. It's super frustrating, so just turn off the pop-up blocker first. All right, Section 3, Step-by-Step Online Guide. Navigating the Sarpy County Treasurer's website. The actual online payment sequence is a really straightforward 4-step process. First, just navigate to the main sarpy.gov website and look for the Pay Taxes link over on the left side of your screen. Easy enough. Step 2, enter that 9-digit parcel ID we talked about earlier, or just type in your physical address. Third, click on your specific property record when it pops up. And finally, Step 4, as long as those pop-up blockers are disabled, like we said, the system will seamlessly redirect you to the state's secure nebraska.gov payment platform. Just keep in mind one major exception here, okay? While you totally can pay real estate and business personal property taxes through the specific portal, motor vehicle taxes and registration fees cannot be processed here. No way. Those require a completely different registration renewal workflow through the DMV system. So just real estate and personal property for this one. Okay, Section 4, Payment Options and Fees. This is all about minimizing your transaction costs. When it comes to covering the costs of the secure network, you actually have a stark financial choice to make. Check this out. Paying with an electronic check, or e-check, comes with a flat $3 fee. Not bad at all. But using a debit or credit card online slaps on a 2.5% surcharge based on your total transaction amount. Think about it. On a median tax bill of $4,820, that percentage fee would cost you over $120. Choosing that $3 e-check keeps way more of your own money right there in your pocket. Whichever method you go with, always remember that hitting the submit button isn't the final step of the journey. You've got to ensure you actually have the funds available in your account. The county considers your payment legally settled only when the transaction fully clears your bank. If it bounces, well, you could be facing those severe delinquency penalties we discussed earlier. So definitely double-check your balance.
Section 5. Deadlines, errors, and fixes. Keeping your account in good standing.
So let's look at the calendar. Property taxes in Sarpy County are split into 2 equal installments. The first half is due on or before March 31st. If it's not paid by then, it becomes officially delinquent on April 1st, and boom, that 14% daily interest begins. The second installment is due on July 31st, becoming delinquent on August 1st. Remember, if you're paying online, your transaction absolutely must be completed before midnight on those exact deadline dates. Now, maybe you get nervous about digital portals and think, I'll just mail a physical check on deadline day. Honestly, be very careful. The county explicitly warns that the Postal Service does not guarantee a postmark will match the exact day you drop it in a mailbox. This really shows exactly why paying online, where you get a literal instant digital timestamp before midnight, is often way safer than risking a delayed postmark. A delayed postmark will instantly make your account delinquent. It's just not worth the risk. Also, if you happen to be catching up on some missed payments, you definitely need to check the shaded box on your physical tax statement. By law, the treasurer prints warnings right there for things like back taxes or a tax sale. This is super critical because the treasurer's office actually does not accept partial payments on delinquent accounts. You've got to pay at least a full half year's installment, plus all that accrued compounding interest, just to get back in good standing. Section 6. Final checks and disclaimers. Let's talk about retrieving your receipts and tax credits. Here's a heads up. Nebraska statute actually no longer requires the county to mail out physical tax receipts. Instead, once you submit your payment, you just check your email for confirmation of your cleared transaction. Then you'll want to go back to the Pay Taxes portal, search your property, and download your digital receipt directly from the Treasurer's Tax Statement section. Keep this file saved. You're going to need it later to use the Nebraska Property Tax Lookup tool online, which is how you claim state income tax credits for the local school district taxes you just paid. It's a real game changer for your tax return. Now, just as a quick disclaimer here, local government policies, technology platforms, and fee structures, while they can and do evolve over time, you should always verify current details, exact deadlines, and the current surcharge rates directly on the official Sarpy County website. Or just contact the treasurer's office to ensure you have the absolute most up-to-date information for the current tax year. Better safe than sorry, right? So, what does this all mean for you? By doing a little prep work online, you minimize your fees, you completely bypass those awful courthouse lines, and you shield yourself from massive compounding penalties. Ultimately, property taxes are just the price we pay for our community's infrastructure, but you absolutely do not need to pay an extra cent in late fees just to fund it. So, will you let a missed deadline cost you thousands, or are you ready to finally take control of your taxes today?